Hello, my name is Chelsea Veal. I'm going to be sharing my experiences from this course within this video. The title of my project is Navigating Your Inner World. To introduce my project, my video's aim or goal is to educate others on what mental health challenges look like in real life, share personal experiences that others may have experienced, help normalize the conversation. A lot of the times, many people tend to address or talk about their physical health, but they do not address or discuss their mental health. People should normalize the idea of having a discussion about their mental health just as much as their physical health, because both matters. I also want to provide hope and encouragement to someone who may be sharing similar experiences. My developmental challenge is managing stress. So stress is a daily struggle. Stress impacts brain development, mental and physical health, emotional regulation, and social and cognitive development. When it comes to stress, I have been dealing with stress for a while now. Within this profession, I've noticed that I've been enhancing the amount of headaches that I have, and my headaches have been turning to migraines. So I went to seek further assistance because I was not understanding why I was having so many headaches and migraines, and I found out that it was all due to stress. And because of that impacting my mental and physical health, it was also causing me to have mood swings, which affected my emotions. So stress is a struggle that I have faced since high school, and I am currently still facing today. Relevance to this course, stress is part of daily life. So I understand that stress is not something I can necessarily get rid of, but I can find ways to manage it. So with stress, I have been experiencing heavy workload, health concerns, life changes, time management concerns, etc. There are many different causes and triggers that can result in stress. Many feel stress when they're overwhelmed and or frustrated. For me, it's both. I feel stressed when I'm overwhelmed because of how much work I have to do and I feel like I don't have enough time to get it done. I also get frustrated because of the amount of work that I have to get done and I feel like I can't find the time. So it causes me to have different mood swings, which causes my frustration. Uncontrolled stress leads to negative impacts on mental and physical health. So does it help? When it comes to stress, it reduces anxiety and depression. It helps to recognize your stress triggers. When it comes to stress, there is many different triggers that can cause your stress, but it helps to identify what may be triggering your stress in order to manage your stress. Enhances physical health. It helps to engage in exercise and or yoga. For me, yoga has been a lot more beneficial because yoga truly helps to reduce your stress levels. It enhances your mental health. It helps to manage stress and it builds resilience. One important factor I want to add when it comes to stress is that it's okay not to be okay. A lot of people feel like with mental health, they just keep it all bundled up inside and they never let it out. Feel free to let it out. Let people know how you feel or what may be causing the stress, because it is okay not to be okay. For my other development reflection, my target student is a first grader in my classroom that is currently experiencing an identity crisis and consistently struggling with right versus wrong. So I attempted 3 different strategies with this student, or theories. The first one being Piaget's cognitive development theory, which is developing moral reasoning. So it's views of wrong as right. And that's what my student has been doing. Everything he does, he doesn't see anything wrong with what he's been doing. He does not understand the consequences or why consequences happen. Based on Piaget, he is beginning to see the world from other people's perspectives. So the strategy I tried with this theory was individual conferences. Each time the student did something wrong, I pulled him aside and we had an individual conference together to provide an understanding of why what he did was wrong and what he should or could have done to make it right. Another theory I tried was Bandura's social learning theory about imitating behaviors. Actions are learned through sources other than people. And then there are exposures to negative relations such as TV, video games, and social media. So the strategy I tried with him was modeling desired expectations and behaviors, because a lot of the times he would tell me that he loved going home and playing violent video games and watching shows that he should not have been watching and wrestling with his other brothers. So all those actions were negative, and I wanted him to start realizing that they are not something that is right for you to be doing. So in order for me to show him that, I began to model desired expectations and behaviors in hope that he would choose the right thing versus the wrong. Another theory I attempted was Bowlby's attachment theory, where the caregiver's relationship shapes emotional development and behavior. So with him, he was lacking attachment and there was no sense of comfort or security. So the strategy I tried here was to establish proximity for comfort and security. Now with this strategy, I did end up moving him closer towards me, so that way he can begin to establish what he did not have at home. I wanted him to feel the sense of attachment or comfort and security from me at school, since he did not receive that at home. Now, did my OD strategies work? For Piaget's cognitive development theory with the individual conferences, I would say the conferences were beneficial, but did they change the behavior? Not necessarily. It's more like it provided understanding, and every time he asks, but why, was his follow-up question to everything that he did wrong. It's but why. And when I give the reasoning and we discuss the right versus the wrong, it's still followed up with but why. So he was beginning to deeper his understanding of right versus wrong, but not necessarily make the correct choices. So for me, I would say individual conferencing was in the middle. If you had to give an actual response to if it worked or not, putting a thumbs up or thumb down, I would say it was in the middle. It wasn't necessarily working, and I wouldn't say it did not work because of the fact that he was building an understanding. For Bandura's social learning theory with modeling the expected behaviors, I would say this did not work for me because I continuously modeled what I expected out of him. However, I started to realize that he was being exposed to so many negative behaviors outside of school rather than positives. And most of the time, you're at home more than you are at school. So therefore, he was receiving so many negative exposures that the positive ones were being outweighed. So I would say Bandura's social learning theory did not work for me. For Bowlby's attachment theory, establishing proximity for comfort and security, I would say this was the most successful strategy for me because I moved his desk closer to mine, and when we walked through the hallways, I kept him next to me rather than walking in a line with the other students. So bringing him closer to me helped to provide the comfort and security that I realized he may not have been receiving at home. Unfortunately, he did not have the best home life. He had a lot going on. So I understand that he was lacking that proximity and comfort and security. So therefore, me providing it at school, I feel like is exactly what he needed. So by doing that, not necessarily changed his expectations or behaviors, but it prevented them because he was always close to me. And he always liked to have those conferences, which is why I said the conferences sort of worked, because even when he did not do anything wrong, him just being next to me allowed him that time to have those individual conferences just to talk with me. For my self-development reflection, I focused on lowering stress and anxiety. So I attempted two theories when it came to two theories relates to my project. The first one being Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, which is affecting work and the home environment. And it's best to leave work at work in order to minimize my stress levels, not to take work home. And I hear a lot of people say that at times, that when I started this profession, a lot of teachers would say, well, why am I taking my laptop home? They would encourage me to leave work at work, and they would always say it will be there. However, I always took it home because in my mind it was, if I take it home, I can get more done rather than me just leaving it here until I return. I also utilize the theory of Erickson's psychosocial development theory, which is a sense of identity is a lifelong process. So my personal behaviors, I have been experiencing frequent headaches, sleep deprivation, mood swings, less quality time with my friends and family, and excessive workload. So the strategies that I utilize for this would be a stress journal or log, and I ensure to include self-affirmations. Self-affirmations within my stress journal really truly helped, and I would strongly advise or encourage anyone to do a stress journal or log. And when you create one, include self-affirmations to encourage yourself. It really does give you the encouragement you need to continue. I increased sleep. I engaged in yoga or exercise, which I actually engaged in both yoga and exercise on different days. It's all up to you, but I would encourage you to engage in either yoga or exercise because it truly helps with not only stress but your energy levels as well. And to complete work at work, or to create a schedule, because it's okay to bring work home sometimes, but don't bring it home all the time. Create a schedule for when you should. So the results for myself, I ended up getting more sleep. I had more energy due to my exercising and yoga. I had a balanced home environment because of the fact I had more time for my friends and family. And I kept an ongoing stress log, and it helped to minimize my stress levels. It will never probably completely take away stress. Everybody has stress, I'm sure you all do, but it will help to minimize your stress levels. Here is a screenshot or a snippet of my stress journal. I would strongly, if anything out of this video you take, if you're dealing with stress and trying to manage, I would strongly recommend creating a stress journal or log to keep up with your stress. Now, at first, when I was told to create a stress journal, I was like, a stress journal is literally just going to write down how much I'm stressing. What good is that really going to do just by me writing down how many times I stress or how much I stress? However, I realized through doing it that it truly is helpful to document how much I was stressing, because not only did I document the stress, I also documented my headaches, if I exercised that day and how long, if I brought work home, and how many hours of sleep I received, and I also put in self-affirmations. So with my stress, I documented it over the month. Here's an example of one of the months that I have documented for the month of October. With the stress, documenting it, if you notice from the beginning, I was at 85%, but by the end of October, I got to 60%. Now, although that's not much progress, it is something. So therefore, it means I am making progress to minimize my stress. No matter how small that progress may be, I am making progress. So I would strongly recommend creating a stress journal and include self-affirmations to give yourself encouragement. On the days that I did not make much progress, I still documented the fact that I'm trying, and I'm telling myself to push through, keep pushing, keep going, because it encourages myself to not give up. Theoretical insights for Piaget's cognitive development theory. Individual conferencing helps to understand the student's thought process and provide a deeper understanding. Albert Bandura's social learning theory. The more positive behaviors a student sees, the more they will display the positives rather than the negatives. For John Bowlby's attachment theory, children experience stress and anxiety. And I realized that just like we as adults experience it, children do as well. And it helped me provide a sense of comfort and security for the student. Erickson's psychosocial development theory helped me realize how one system or environment can impact another. So I was affected by my work environment, and it was causing me to bring that home to my home environment. And that was not good for my mental or physical health, nor for my family and friends. And then Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory helped me realize that identity is a lifelong process, and you have to establish the root cause of your stress and anxiety to address the issue properly. My key takeaways: I would say progress is not linear, but it is possible. So progress may not happen overnight, as you could see with my stress journal. It does not happen overnight, within maybe 1 day or 2 days, but within a month or longer. It may not be linear, but it is definitely possible. Stress is not what happens to me, but rather my response to what happens. And my response is my choice. So therefore, by adopting the right attitude, I can convert my negative stress into a positive one. Helpful tools. So for my other development project, a helpful tool would be frequent or daily modeling behaviors and expectations, building relationships with each student to establish a positive classroom environment. I would strongly suggest building relationships with your students. You would be amazed by the relationships you can build with your students by simply talking to them. Having those individual conferences, it helps you build a strong and healthy student-teacher relationship. For self-development, I would start a stress journal and include affirmations to encourage yourself that you can do it. You can get through it. You just have to keep going. Identify how you feel. Remember that it's okay not to be okay. Leave work at work to maintain a healthy balance, or if you don't leave it, create a schedule in order for you to bring it home on certain days. When you're tired, allow the body to rest. Simply put the work down and allow your body to rest. Don't deny the fact that your body is tired. Get some rest. Engage in yoga. Yoga is great for reducing your stress levels. Now, my advice to you, instead of just simply listing different advice, I created a poem. So I hope this poem helps provide the advice you need when it comes to stress and overcoming. When you are mentally clocked out, you will never truly be clocked in. Your patience will continue wearing thin. Believe in yourself, as you are stronger than you think. Don't allow stress and workload to be the cause you just let go and allow yourself to sink. Every step, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate your accomplishments and strive for more. Self-affirmations deserve an encore. Some days will be harder than others, some so hard to manage. Never give up, because your purpose is the advantage. Continue pressing forward. You will make progress and climb your ladder. If no one has told you, your mental health matters. Thank you.